Hey guys, I hope you are doing well. It's all going well from my side. On today's video, I'm going to show you how you can use React hooks form with Expo and React Native. Basically what I have here, I just have a starter project, Expo starter project with the template of bottom navigation. This is what I have. We have tab 1, tab 2, not found, and just model screen. Just gonna be doing all of my work here on tab 1 screen, right? This video is gonna be quick. One thing that you need to do, you just need to go to the React hook form documentation. Let me just do that. You go to the React hook documentation. As you can see, it also works with React Native, so you don't have to worry about the compatibility. Let's go to getting started. We need to install this library, React hook form, but I've already installed it, so I'm not gonna do it again. Then I am just going to start my server, npx expo start. Let's just wait for it. That was quick. So I'm gonna be demoing all of my work on the iOS emulator. Let me just reload again. Okay, this is what we have for now. Let me just clean up this code. I'm just gonna remove this, remove some of this imports. I'm not gonna remove the test, probably gonna use it. The container, let's remove that. I don't want to justify my content to center as if yet, so this is fine. I'm gonna keep my content here. Let me just add the sub view. Usually prefer to do this so that I can style all of my work here. So let's just do two fields, test input fields. Do them like this. This test input field, what I need this to have, of course, placeholder. The placeholder of this one is gonna be username or email. Just like this. The following one, I'm going to give this one, this is going to be password. Okay, let's see how they look on the emulator. They look a bit squashed and they are not that visible. What we need to do here, let me just put all of these fields within the view, right? Because the last time I checked, we can just remove, we can just style the actual component instead of putting them on the view. So I'm just gonna give them the padding of 10. This is the style, need another bracket inside. I'm just gonna give this padding of 10. I am gonna give it the border width of 1, or maybe border color as well. I'm gonna give it the border color of, let's give it gray, and make them beautiful a bit. Border radius of, let's just make them a bit heavy, so probably just need to do exactly the same thing here for now, but this is just password. Let's see how it looks. Okay, it looks nicer. Cool. What I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna give this margin. Yeah, so this is how it's looking at the moment, right? It's a bit squashed, as you can see. One thing that I'm going to do here, I am just going to give it the margin top of about, let me give it 5 or 6, but this should be fine. And it's also very close to the device border. So I'm also going to give another inline styling here. I'm just gonna do margin horizontal of 10. Okay, yeah, this looks cool. I'm happy with it. So yeah, because I'm doing a lot of I'm duplicating most of my stuff here. I'm just gonna give this styling test input style. It's gonna do like this. Reference it from the style sheet. Test input. What do I need here? Because here I have margin, trapeze, and extra styling. I'm just gonna copy all of my properties to this new styling. But the issue with this one, this is going to create a new object. It's not going to reference this test input, which I don't think is cool. So I usually prefer to use the list of stylings here. You can just pass this into a list and just create another styling after that. But let me clean this up a bit. Okay, this looks cool. It's basically a list of the first styling, and the second styling I'm just gonna put it here. So this is how it looks. This looks very cool. Yeah. Okay, I also need to have a submit button here. I'm just gonna do this. It's going to be submit, but then no, I don't want to style it too much, as long as if we can be able to handle that action. So this is what we have. We have two inputs, username and the one for password. So probably need to do the secure test entry here, set it to true, but you can just pass it like this. It will take it as true. So this is fine. Let's go to the business of today of like integrating all of this with React hook forms. I am going to import my controller and use form hook from React hook forms, which is cool. I'm going to destruct some of the components from the use form hook here, as you can see. Okay, I copied this from documentation. I don't need the errors here, so it should be fine. Handle, submit, and control. This is things that I need. And one thing that I also need, I need to implement my custom on submit method. On submit method, just like this. It's expecting to have some data. I'm just gonna console these data. Of course, TypeScript is complaining now. It wants us to shape the data that we are expecting. I'm just gonna create an interface for that, but you can also create type. It's gonna take it, call it form data. In our case, it's just username, which is a string, and also password, which is a string as well. So this is what we have. I'm just going to refer my type here. Nice, happy. And also my use form, I also wanted to use this type. This is cool. Here we destructed the control and the handle submit from the use hook, from the use form. On here on this button, we can just do on press a handle submit, pass our. We just need to pass our custom on submit method, just like this. This looks cool and cleaner. So now we are going to make use of this controller. Basically what we need to do here is to wrap our component with this controller. Let me quickly do that. I'm just copying this thing from the documentation. I just copied this. Of course, it needs to be closed. I also need to close this component. So this is the controller component that I'm using. You basically pass your own component here on the render method, the component that you are expecting. So basically this controller method expects the control. This is the one that we destructed from the use form. Is also expecting the name, in our case is username, and the render method which renders the JSS component. And the field, on the field here we get the value, we get on change, and also on blur. That's why I removed the field state here. This way we can extract all of our errors. So we just need to pass all of these stuffs here. I'm gonna pass my value on change text. I am going to pass on change here, and I am going to also make use of on blur. So this looks cool, I must say. Okay, this is what we have at the moment. So again, let's do the same on our second field as well. Gonna do the same thing. Copy this. We need this field here. I am going to need the value here. Pass in the value. I am going to need on change text. Just gonna pass on change method. I am going to also need on blur. We are going to need on blur here. Just pass on blur. This looks much better. Okay, cool. We have already done this, that as well. So we've passed the control, but instead of username here, we need the password. Let's go back to the emulator and see how everything looks. So if I try to submit this like that, you see our console.log is giving us password undefined, username undefined. But if we see test username here, and also password, you see our data is being passed through. So, but one of the issue that we have here is the validation, right? Let's check. I can submit this, but the data is undefined, and I don't find that to be very cool. So one thing that we need to work on with the control components, like we have an option to pass our own rules. We can pass the rules here, which is basically just an object, right? We can pass our own rule, which is basically, we can pass our own rule here, which is basically just an object. In this case, you can pass something like this. Oh, let's just do the simple one. Can do required. We can just say true or write the error message. Username required. I'm not sure if this is the right spelling. I think I'm missing an I here. So we can also do another rule here. We say username is required. Here we're gonna say password is required. Let me just do username is required here as well. Username is required and password is required. Like now, if we submit this, you see nothing is happening. Basically, there's an error. It's not gonna, the fields are required. It's not gonna call the on submit method. But the thing is, how are we going to be able to display our error message? So this is a very important part. Here, what you can do, because we are extracting these errors from the field state, you can check here. We can then do conditional rendering here and check if we have an error, right? This is what we want to do. If we have an error, we want to display the error message. We just want to display error.message. That error.message, maybe let's make this thing cute a bit. The color of this text, I'm going to use dark pink. Maybe there's something like that. Hopefully there's something like that. So yeah, so you're just saying username is required. Let me just use red. Just want it to be fancy. So you can say username is required. And also here we can do the same thing. See, because we took all our stuff, errors from the field state. We can just say, oh, here is going to say password is required. But if we feel the thing or gmail.com, just yeah, you can see now our data is being sent through. So this is all that I had for you today. We're going to continue on the next video just to show you how you can validate the email, the length of the stuff as well. So I'm just going to continue with that on the next video. But let's just summarize what we went through. Basically, we just imported controller and the use from React hook form, and then we made use of this use form here and also destruct some of the stuff that we want to use, method like use control, method like control. So we made use of that controller component here, just pass the control, then field name, validation rules, and display some errors here. Yeah, I think this is, yeah, one thing that you can also achieve with this, you can also set up the initial values here on the use form context. You can just say default values. What do you want your default values to be? You can say username. You want the username to be let's just say empty string if you want to, instead of undefined, and the password to be also be empty string. You can do all of that. So yeah, that's all what I had for you today. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe.